Hey there, I'm Brant Zip at Crocker Farm Auction, and we got our big spring 2020 auction of American stoneware and redware coming up. This really is one of the better selections of American pottery that we've ever assembled in our 15 years of having stoneware and redware auctions. This piece is a really great example of a type of stoneware my dad's been handling since the early 80s, which is southwestern Pennsylvania stoneware. And this piece really displays an excellent color for southwestern Pennsylvania stoneware and bears desirable freehand decoration, but in particular the freehand inscription Day and Ross. This is one of only a very small number of extant examples that bear this inscription, and it's my understanding that scholars and collectors haven't really sorted out yet who Day and Ross actually were, so we sort of set about to try to solve that mystery in the lead up to the auction. And I think we've gotten pretty close. So Day, I think, is pretty definitely a guy named Frank Day, who was kind of the biggest bigwig in the small hamlet of Day's Store, Pennsylvania, which was in Greene County where this piece was made. It was called Day's Store because Frank Day's store was the post office there. So he was also a postmaster and he was a merchant. And so you would typically see a crock like this emblazoned with, if it has a name on it, it's either going to have the maker's name or a merchant's name. And the merchant would have been selling the crock either as its own primary item, or he would have been selling the crock with some other secondary item inside of it. So that's sort of where we get to the Ross in this situation, because I had a harder time figuring out who Ross was, but I did note that in 1867, a William Ross of Day's Store patented a formula for preserving butter, meat, etc. And indeed, that's the primary use of crocks like this, was to preserve foodstuffs. So it's my guess that there was some partnership there where Frank Day and William Ross were either actually putting food into these items and selling them, or more likely selling the crocks, maybe even with some instructions on the best way to use them, something along those lines. But this is a really exceptional example of southwestern Pennsylvania stoneware from its time period, circa 1865. What's notable about it is it's actually inscribed on the bottom, J. Hamilton, for the noted potter James Hamilton, from Greensboro, Greene County, Pennsylvania. And that inscription appears on the bottom, is hand incised, and is pretty much, is something close to unheard of for southwestern Pennsylvania stoneware like this. It's also stamped on the reverse with Hamilton's maker's mark, and we're just really happy to offer this exceptional example of southwestern Pennsylvania stoneware.